today's video, we're going to go over 5 key questions that will help you take control of your MBA interview and change the power dynamic between you and your interviewer. Because remember, the MBA interview isn't over when you stop talking. It's over when they stop talking. And the most critical moment of the interview is when your admissions person leans back and asks, "What questions do you have for me?" This is a critical moment in the interview process where most that kill their chances at getting admitted. They'll ask questions like, do you have a consulting club? What's your class size? And what's the alumni network like? These are questions you can easily answer through a simple Google search, and it won't come across that. And so it's in your best interest to come up with better questions. In this video, you'll learn those 5 powerful questions that flip the script and put you in charge of the conversation. If you ask these questions right, the interviewer will start seeing you as not a candidate, but a high caliber peer that they want to be a part of the program. And as a result, they'll start selling you on the program itself versus the other way around. Now, before we get into the questions, it's important to acknowledge the mind shift that needs to happen for you to go from MBA candidate to a peer. Your past is well documented. The admissions council has your resume and knows about your accomplishments, but the interview process is your opportunity to show them that you're a real person and can think strategically and bring value to the program. The questions you ask will show them how you think and the value that you can bring. It also highlights your strategic mindset, which is a huge advantage when going for your MBA. The great thing is that one brilliant question can show the potential that a perfectly rehearsed answer ever could. Remember, you're not begging for a spot. You're meticulously selecting the right MBA program for you, and it's up to the interviewer to now prove that this program is the right fit for you. This is the power dynamic shift that we want to make sure occurs during your interview process. Okay, so the first question we want to ask is specific to fit and future. You want to ask, based on my background in insert your industry and my goal of pivoting into state your goal, what courses and clubs or opportunities should I focus on in my first semester to hit the ground running? So now this is a great question because it forces the interviewer to picture you succeeding at their school. It already places you in the role of student. It also shows the interviewer that you're planning your steps from day one. You have a goal in mind, and the school and the MBA program is a step towards that goal. Like any good question, it invites advice and builds rapport for your interviewer because you always want to keep things as casual as you can. And if based on the answer that the interviewer gives, it can give you a free personalized roadmap that you can integrate into your own notes if you choose to go ahead with the program. The next question will highlight your strategic vision. It'll go like this. Looking beyond the current curriculum, what's the one big strategic move the school is most excited about in the next few years? And how will that change the student experience? What this question reveals is that it places you, again, outside the role of applicant, but more as a stakeholder. You're interested in the long-term vision of the program and are asking questions about it. This puts you in the role of partner, and it'll help you understand what the school is innovating towards in the near future. This was key for me as Cornell was in the process of moving from their Palisades campus to their New York City campus on Roosevelt Island. That had a huge impact on the program, and it was something I could ask about and see how it would relate to my future goals as a student and also as a post-grad MBA. The third question is what I call the candid feedback question. It goes something like this. If you could go back and do it again, what's one thing you wish you had done differently during your time here? Now, I personally think this is a brilliant question because of the framing. It's non-threatening and will surprisingly result in a lot of honest answers because you're not inviting them to trash talk anyone or anything. You're just asking for their honest feedback. And many times than not, this will give you some real insights that you can use to see if this program is a great fit for you. It's also a question that you can ask current students and alumni to get a sense of their personal experience and how it could relate to you and your goals. Question 4 is the success and struggle question. It goes like this. From what you've seen, what traits define students who get the most out of this program, and what causes others to struggle? This question will force the interviewer to cut through the buzzwords and give you a real answer and give you a sense of what the profile is for success. Not only that, but it'll give you a benchmark where you can measure yourself to real expectations. And an added bonus of this question is the emotional intelligence that you can show the interviewer. Being able to take yourself out of the equation and think about others and their experience shows that you have not only confidence, but self-awareness. And this is a huge advantage in any MBA program. The fifth and final question is all about surprise and reality and asks for a personal experience. It goes like this. Beyond academics and recruiting, what's the most surprising or unexpected part of your program experience for you personally? That last part is key because it's disarming and it's asking for a human engagement on an experience that they've had. It invites a real story, and that real story reveals a lot about the school's true values. It's a perfect way to end the conversation because it'll likely be a positive story that you can relate to and see yourself in, hopefully. Now that we've gone through the questions, there's still a little bit more to dig into. You first want to understand what the do's and don'ts are, even during the interview process. Some of the do's are, of all the questions, have a few ready, maybe 3 to 4 that you can ask. Be prepared to practice active listening and respond to what the interviewer is saying, because you don't want to ask a question that the interviewer has already answered, since that will show that you're not listening. Be sure to follow up on what they say. If they say something you didn't expect, ask a follow-up question. And as we said earlier, keep the conversation as cordial as possible. It's a discussion, not an interrogation, and you want to keep it that way. Some clear don'ts in the conversation are listed here. You don't want to ask anything that you can easily find on the website. You certainly don't want to ask about the chances of you getting in. This isn't the time for that. This is a chance for you to show them who you really are. And you definitely don't want to leave the opportunity to ask questions by giving the time back. If anything, have at least one good question to ask, but at best, think about which questions that we've just reviewed you'd like to keep in your back pocket. And again, keep it as natural as possible. Don't make it seem like you're reading off a script, but rather having an engaging conversation, because this is a conversation between peers. The content you provide matters as much as the delivery of that content, so keep that in mind. So if you're able to ask those questions, then chances are you're going to change the power dynamic in your interview and put yourself in the driver's seat and be seen as more of a peer than as a candidate. Remember, you're not just trying to get in. You're trying to find a program that's a perfect fit for you and your future goals. And it's up to the interviewer now to prove that their program is a fit for you and your plan. And just like anything in life, practice and be ready. If you need to practice with a friend or a mentor, then that's what you should do. Think about the questions you want to ask and how you deliver them. Because if you do this effectively, the chances of you gaining admission goes up drastically. I hope this video helped you. If you need more guidance on interview skills, then check out my other video right here, and I'll see you there.